Young girl, 15 years old, Charlotte Smart, London, England. She has bad acne. None of the commercial products seem to work for her. Shh, come in and sit down, please. So she has the nerve to go to a factory that makes creams, and she designed a cream, little 15-year-old girl. And she called it Glow On. She called her product Glow On. And it worked. It cleared up a lot of her acne. She brought it to school, and 2 or 3 of the other girls in the class bought jars each, but no big deal. And she kept trying to sell it, but nobody wanted it. And she kept trying to get some publicity, but who the heck was she? And so for 2 years, age 15, age 16, age 17, she sold a few bottles a month to other girls in her class, and that was it. She attends my workshop in London, not because she wanted to come, but because her mother wanted to come and dragged her there. She sat there, arms crossed, uninterested for the entire event until I started talking about branding by having a book. And she said, a book? Maybe that's a way I can sell more jars. So her mother buys her enrollment into my book writing program. She's 17. And she writes a book called Get Your Glow On, because it would promote her product. And the book comes out. I have her up on my stage. Everybody's excited. The next thing I hear is she's got a Facebook notification that she Googled and found out there's roughly 100 English language magazines in the world that cater to teens. So she got all their addresses and she sent them an individual physical letter, not just an email, a physical package. And in the package, she had a letter introducing herself, a physical product, like a jar of her product, and her book. And she said, "Dear editor, I'm a 17-year-old girl in London, England. I've created this amazing product, and I'm the author of the book, Get Your Glow On. Would you like to write an article about me? Would you like to sell my book? Would you like to sell my cream in your magazine?" 100 out of the 100 editors. That's unheard of. 100 out of the 100 said, "We would love to write a feature article on you. We would love to sell your book in our magazine. We would love to sell your cream in our magazine." She is global. She's worldwide because she grasped the concept that if you knock on doors, you're going to get sore knuckles. Because she knocked on doors for 2 years and got nowhere. 2 or 3 kids in her class bought a jar a month, big deal. Now she's international, selling all over the world. All the girls in her school are buying these creams from her. They all want to buy the books from her. She's happy. Her product is selling like crazy because she got the concept that you don't sell your book sells you. Whatever business, by the way, that's Maximilian Aaron, my grandson who was named after me. Robert, of course, thinks that he was named after him. I have no way to prove it. And he's a lawyer, so I don't challenge him. So, do you get the difference that if you try to sell your book, you're going to just buy another job? But when the book sells you, that's how you start making money. Well, I don't have a jar to sell. Oh, grow up. You have to be distinguished in order to do anything in your life. Even if you don't know what your business is, when you write a book that upscales you, then whatever you ever do, you've got a book. And when you say, "I'm the author of," wow. Now, I've actually figured out why you look so distinguished in other people's eyes. I'm going to tell it to you right now. If I went out onto the main street of Toronto, Yonge Street, and I stopped 100 people and said to 100 people walking by, "Have you written a book?" I would expect the number of people to say yes would be roughly 0 out of 100. Put up your hand if you think that's probably true. Good. If I asked a broader question, put up your hand if you know anybody personally. That is, you know their name, you know their spouse's name, you've been to their home, you know their kid's name. Put up your hand, do you know anyone personally who's ever written a book? If I asked those same 100 people, maybe 1 or 2 would say yes. Put up your hand if you think that's reasonable. Okay, that means that if you've written a book, you're special. You're 1 out of 100, probably 1 out of 10,000, probably 1 out of 1,000,000. But even more, if I stopped 100 people on the street and I said to them, name an author, they would probably say William Shakespeare, Donald Trump, Sir Richard Branson, the Dalai Lama. In other words, they don't know anyone who's written a book, and the people who have written a book are like Winston Churchill. So if nobody they know has written a book, and the only people they've even heard of that have written a book are the most famous people in the world, if you've written a book, whoa! In their mind, you're on par with William Shakespeare and Winston Churchill. That's why it's so spectacular to have written a book. Not an ebook, not a blog. No one says, he's got a blog on it. Nobody says, he wrote the ebook on it. But the idiom in the English language for expressing the awe that somebody is an expert is, she wrote the book on it. Well, if you've actually written the book on it, you are held in gigantically high esteem. Money comes to you, clients come to you, and there are 30 people in this room who have already taken my program and have already finished their book and published their book. If that's you, stand up proudly right now where you are. Stand up proudly right now. Congratulations. They're prouder than heck. They took that leap. Instead of saying, oh, I've never written anything before, English is my first language, I don't know anything to write about, instead of that crap that stops ordinary souls, they stepped across the line and said, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Raymond says it, I'm going for it. Baloney, all those obstacles. Pinball Clemens had obstacles. I've got obstacles. Everyone on earth's had obstacles. Either you give in your obstacles, in which case you are simply a nobody. And I'm not putting you down, I'm just telling you the reality, or you step across the line and go for it no matter what. In fact, there are some clients of mine who stepped across the line and said, I'm going for it, for whom this is their very first book launch. This is the first time I have seen their book, and they're here. If that's you, come on up right now with your book. Come on up right now. If this is your first time, oh my gosh, there's more first-timers than you thought, Jennifer. Oh my gosh. Okay, first time only. So, have you got your book? Okay, good. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and this is for them because they're proud, and it's also for you to learn. I'm going to ask the following questions, 5 questions. What's your name? What's your business? What was your, so this is for you to remember. You probably aced those 2. What difficulty did you have before you thought of writing a book? So it could be something like nobody took me seriously, I had to bang on doors to get a listing, or whatever it is. And then the 4th question is, what was the easiest part of following my program to get your book done? Like what surprised you because it was so easy? And finally, tell me a miracle that's happened to you since having a book. And look how bold I am. I'm not saying, has anything nice happened? Did it do you any good? I'm saying, give me a miracle that's happened, Because I never used to have that courage, but every time I said, is there any impact? People would say, well, then this miracle, and then that miracle, and then this miracle. And so now I know, even if your book's only been out a day, there's going to be a miracle. That's how astounding it is to have a book. And so, here we go. Tell us your name and your business.
My name is Dr. Ellie Klein. I'm a naturopathic doctor.
Do you know what? We're not doing that correctly. Hold on.
Need a mic?
Yeah. Here we go. Perfect.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Dr. Ellie Klein. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I help you lower your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar naturally.
Wonderful. And what was your problem before a book?
My problem before a book, standing out.
Standing out. You were just a naturopathic doctor, blowing in the wind, saying, I'm good, I'm different, I can help you, and
making a difference in other people's lives.
right. So it was hard to make a difference because you couldn't get them to be your patients in the first place.
Right.
I mean, you got some patients, of course, but it was like a struggle. Is that what you're saying?
It was a struggle. My route has been to be even more an educator than a practitioner. And I have a healthy art program consisting of 6 biweekly classes. And I knew that I needed something like this.
To give you the authority so they would sign up for that program.
Absolutely.
Okay. What surprised you in how easy it was to get your book done?
Well, I had a stalled book for 4 years.
Before you signed up for my program?
Before I signed up for your program.
When you tried to do it on your own?
Yes.
Okay. Think of the idiocy of this. I mean, I'm not putting you down, but honest to God, you're an idiot. Honestly, I can't say it any other way. Imagine, let's say you wanted to build your own home. Here's the correct path. You call an architect, you sit down for a few months, you figure out what you need, you call in mechanical engineers to figure out how much it costs. That's how you start. You don't say, oh, they're having a sale on windows. Why don't I just get a window? Oh, there's a brick on the street. We'll put the brick there. That's not how you build a house. But that's how people who are morons write a book. They just start typing. Oh, there's a word. Let's put that in too. It's ridiculous. You can't build a book just by starting to type. It's goofy. You need a plan. You need a program. I get carried away.
That's okay.
Okay, so 4 years you couldn't get it done. How long did it take you to get this done?
Okay, so I'm beating myself over the head for this. Okay, it has taken me 13 months. Okay, and throughout the process, I thought to myself, when is it coming? When is it coming? But I'm very busy. And yet looking back, 13 months is not a long time at all.
Yeah, but it's still way too slow. Anyways, tell me a miracle that has happened because you have a book.
Well, we had a phone call from the office or promoters of a fairly well-known author who, by the name of Dr. William Davis, wrote the Wheat Belly Diet. Okay, and they called us because they wanted to sell us a ticket for his program. But when they found out that I was a published author, that I just launched a book, all of a sudden it changed. All of a sudden it's, okay, well, why don't you become a part of the event now?
Wow. Yeah. So instead of selling you a ticket, you're on stage.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Do we have okay. So because you're a brand new author, we have a award for you. And the award is, the Heart Doctor Award, Ellie Klein, ND. Congratulations.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, your name and what you do.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Fisher, and my passion is to help women look naturally beautiful.
Wow. Okay. And what was your problem before the book?
I wasn't able to share enough of my product out to the beautiful women.
That's a sweet way of saying they weren't buying.
They weren't buying.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Notice how she's color-coded? Purple coconut. Oh, that's awesome. Now you did the Done For Me program.
Yes.
So what was the easiest part of the Done For Me program?
Working with Jennifer Lee. She's awesome.
She is.
She's totally awesome.
She is.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And from registering to holding the book in your hand was 2 months.
Yes.
Holding it in your hand, like from today, 2 months from today.
Yeah.
Wow. And tell me a miracle. Now, this is a pre-release, so it's not even out yet.
No.
In fact, this is probably the only book in existence that you rushed to get done just for this event, right?
Well, I got 10. So
You
this
got
is the only
10.
one
Okay,
left.
fine. You got 10.
Yeah.
And so tell me a miracle that's happened.
I just have more courage to go forth with my message.
Just more courage.
Yeah.
Is that a low thing or
No,
a big
I
thing?
have more courage.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Congratulations, Jennifer's award. The Health and Wellness Coach Award, Jennifer Fisher. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Now, Joe, we didn't know you were coming. So
I didn't know either until very recently.
yeah,
so
that's probably the reason why we don't have an award for you.
that's fine. No.
You earned it, but there's no physical thing because you didn't tell us you're coming.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So your name is Joe. Tell everyone what you do.
I'm a filmmaker, and I'm actually rebranding myself to become the transformational filmmaker.
All right.
So that's
all right.
following in your footsteps. So.
That's okay. And tell me what your difficulty was before you had a book.
Well, I've written other books before, as I share with you. I'm a fellow Chicken Soup for the Soul author, but of just one article in Campus Chronicles. And I've written
You're
screenplays.
not an author, you're a contributor.
Contributor.
Yeah, that's the
Contributor.
That's the
got it.
terminology within the
Co-contributor.
Chicken Soup. Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't much of a problem, except for when I went through the 10-10-10 program, I really understood how to focus a book into a message that would sell
Yes.
me.
Right.
Because I've written 4 screenplays, 2 novels, things like that. And
But you wrote those to sell them. This
Correct,
one is
correct.
for it to sell you.
yes, correct. It was
Totally
Yes,
different.
I did not understand it until
Right.
that program.
And in the modules, you'll learn how to do that, and you
Yes.
learn the concept of it. So that was
Yes,
huge.
yes.
Good. And what miracle has happened since you've come out with Teenage Dreams: How to Make a Successful Teen Comedy Movie?
And this is really for producers, actors, and interested investors. What has happened is, because I have attached the Sophia Linkletter. She is the granddaughter of Art Linkletter, the legendary TV host from the 50s in the US. And also Disney's Prom. There's another actress that's in there. And we went and we pitched to about 60 production companies. And one in particular loves Sophia. She's getting a lot of traction. So she's leaving her current management to go with their management. They have the funding for our project, and tomorrow I'm actually meeting with them in LA for development and possible funding for it.
Wonderful. Wow.
All thanks to you.
Thank you. We have an LA boot camp coming up. You attend that, we'll give you your award at that one.
Definitely, definitely. And also, once the movie comes out,
Yes?
I am going to fly you out to LA for the premiere.
Are you serious?
Promise you that, yes.
Really?
Yes.
I've never been to a premiere.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Like with the red carpet?
Yes, yes.
And,
Yes.
really?
Yes.
And Joan Rivers interviewing me?
We'll see who we can get.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Wow. Hi. So tell us your name and your business.
My name is Stephen Riches, or Steve Riches, and I have a music business, a music studio, which is rapidly becoming the Talent Can Be Taught Studios.
Ah. So what was your problem? Here, you hold it.
Thank you.
What was your problem before you had a book?
Basically, just trying to build up a client base, getting it to the point where I could work on my business rather than in it. And that is now starting to get to that point where I can cut back on some of my teaching time and begin teaching the teachers. That's what I want to.
And what was the surprisingly easiest part of following my program?
The easiest part of following the program for me was having the prescriptive method, the 10-10-10 program, which allowed me to know, do this first, do that next.
So you just followed the path.
Basically, I just followed the path, and
So you bought the program, you followed the path, you got the book.
you got it.
All right. That's a relief,
It is.
right? Not
Yeah.
like this guy's approach. He just finds a brick somewhere and thinks he's building a house, right? Okay, good. Not to put you down, just to...
You gotta teach, right?
I learned not to reinvent the wheel a long time ago.
Right. So tell me a miracle that's happened since.
I would say that I can see the evidence that doors are starting to open up. I only just got the book this week, but we've been starting to put out some publicity, and there's a book launch in the local community in Pickering that's planned for the library coming up in a couple of weeks. And so I'm
that'll
sure
be
things...
2 book launches within a month.
That's right.
Yeah, that's... How old are you, if I can ask?
I'm 62. I
Okay.
have to think about it.
In 62 years before this book, how many book launches did you have?
0.
Yeah, and then in 1 month you get 2 of them. That's
right.
kind of a miracle.
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you. Hi, oh, I'm sorry. And here you are, the Talent Can Be Taught Award, Stephen Riches 2013. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, you hold it. Your name, is this notes?
No, it's. I was going to present it to you afterwards for your birthday, but you kind of stole my thunder right there.
What are you going to present to me?
The autographed copy, the birthday edition of this book.
The birthday edition.
The birthday edition.
Okay. Okay, thank you. First printing, look at this, first printing. The guy is just going for it. All right, so tell me your name again and what you do.
I'm Chris Allen, the author of the book on Toronto real estate.
How does that feel?
It fits, I like it.
The author of the book on Toronto real estate. He wrote the book on Toronto real estate. How can you not use him? So, what was your problem before the book?
Differentiating myself from the other realtors in the area. There's about 36,000 in Toronto alone. So
No.
yes, 36,000 realtors in the Toronto real estate
And they
board.
all call themselves a
realtor. Absolutely, absolutely.
So now you're the realtor who wrote the book on Toronto real estate. That's distinguished.
It is. It is. I like it.
Look at his face. Are you noticing this? Like, this is called reading your own marketing literature, right? I wrote the book, and then he said, whoa, I did, wow. But you know what? That increase in self-esteem gets exuded out, and other people feel it. And that makes sales a lot easier.
It does.
So, what was the easiest part of writing the book?
The easiest part of writing the book is that your program breaks it down into modules that are easy to assimilate and easy to attack and complete. That's what I found the easiest part for
So
myself.
you played the video, there was a list of homework at the end, you did the homework.
Exactly.
You played the next video, list of homework,
Do the
you
homework,
did it.
and then you
You
carry
played the
on.
next video,
Until you're done. That's
and when
it.
you played the last video,
You have a book.
you have a book. It's wonderful. And tell me a miracle that's happened to you because of this.
Do you want a big miracle or a small miracle, Raymond?
Let's start. No, let's build up. Let's start with a little miracle and build up to a big miracle. Like there's no shortage of miracles on stage, apparently.
Well, the little miracle then is that simply I have completed an objective that I've been after for a very long time, and now I'm on stage, able to share that with everyone because of you, Raymond. That's what. That's a little miracle.
Thank you. Thank you. And the big miracle?
The big miracle, this Friday, our first day of the conference, at lunchtime, and I didn't get the message until afterwards because I was so enthralled in everything that we were doing here, I received a message from a television producer in the States. They want me to be a guest on a luxury real estate show with Academy Award winning actor Sir Ben Kingsley.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a big miracle. But it's because of Raymond, though. If it wasn't because of the coaching, if it wasn't because of the branding, and if it wasn't because of the book, they wouldn't have found me. They would not have found me. But because of all of that from you, Raymond, that's why I'm able to say that. So I owe you. So you have the birthday edition of the book because that is the least I can do.
So you know, the last time I was speechless, I was on my knee in Hawaii proposing marriage to my then girlfriend, in front of 200 of the top transformational leaders in the world, and they were hooting and hollering and screaming so loud, I didn't hear her say yes, so I'm waiting, and I was speechless. And I'm again speechless here.
Thank you.
You're going to be on television with Ben Kingsley.
That's what we're hoping. Well, we got to have the conversation on Monday, and then we're going to see where it goes. But the fact alone that they even contacted me, even if worst case scenario, it doesn't go through, the fact that they found me for the opportunity, which would not have happened before. Although, of course, I intend for it to go through. But
Thank you. Thank you. Have you already? Really? Absolutely. Jennifer, have we already got a copy of all these books, these new books? Because this one's autographed, so we have to keep this one for sure. And here is your award, the Ben Kingsley Award. No. The Real Estate Guru Award.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hold on. Hold on. Ben Kingsley, oh my God.
Wow, I've got to follow that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you have to follow that. So tell us your name.
I'm Dr. Patricia Wynne Jones.
And-
I'm the pain management doctor, the go-to doctor in Beverly Hills. When patients don't want surgery and they don't want medication, I'm the one they come to.
Wow.
One of my issues, though, is I'm a sweet little secret in the pocket of some other doctors. I don't want to be their little secret anymore.
Oh, so the big celebs and other people go to all these other doctors, and then
I
they
make them look good.
Yeah,
I
not
make
any
them-
longer.
not any longer.
You are
My
stepping
turn.
forward.
Yes,
Here,
I
I want to
am.
see it. Let me see you step forward. Whoa! Oh my God. And your book is called Today I.
Today, being in the moment and taking responsibility before you go to the doctors, because the healing starts within. You are the best doctor. It's within you. And I want to help patients empower themselves, and you can do this. This is a Start Here First book. Start here first.
Wow.
I
And
love it.
what was, me too, what was the easiest part of writing this book?
Well, my sister, who's here, inspired me. She inspired me in October for her retirement cruise. She invited 8 women. We were in 2 rooms, and we got along so beautifully. And the information that is in here, I repeat all the time. And they just inspired me to put it down in writing.
So instead of having to repeat it all the time, so it's more efficient, but also it's more prestigious
Yes.
to have it, oh, why don't you take a look at the book I wrote? Yeah. And
when I did that,
Yeah.
I said, okay, now I need a way to do this. And that was in October. In November, I got tickets to the Ultimate Author Boot Camp. That was going to be in January. I went, I met you, I joined. Well, no, I joined in May. I hesitated. I joined in May. The book is now done.
from this May,
From this
May to September, in a
Yes.
few months,
Yes.
from signing up with all your busy life as a medical doctor, the book is out, you're holding it in your hand, and you're
holding
on
it in my
stage.
hand. And one of the miracles, well, I guess mine are kind of small miracles, but miracles all the same. When I told my staff and the hospital that I was writing the book, the president of the hospital said, "It's a book about being happy, right?" It's like, they knew already. The doctors were waiting for this book. They're asking for books, cases of the book already. They want to hand it out to their patients.
Cases.
Cases of the book
Cases.
to hand out to their patients.
Wow. They want cases, of
Cases.
your book.
Yes.
Yeah, say that again. Cases. Oh man, do I love my job. The Inspirational and Personal Growth Coach Award, Patricia Wynne Jones, MD.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right, your name and what you do.
My name is Suzanne Hart, and I'm the author of the book Leading with Character.
Mastering the Habits of Highly Successful Business Leaders. I was blown away by this book, Kathy Coover. Wow. 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 So what was your problem before you had this book?
This is my second book that I've authored.
Okay.
And what was really neat was the system that you had. So I knew what to do with my book. I knew how to use it for my benefit.
Right.
And I think it was the step-by-step, exactly what to do. So what was cool was my assistant did a part of it. She did all the marketing, branding, and I did all the writing. And it was like we just both went through it. It was amazing. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And tell me a miracle that's happened since the book's out.
Well, I got the book when I arrived. So the first time I saw
We
it.
had it shipped here.
Yeah,
The first time you saw it
was here.
Was here.
Yeah.
Wow. So like the ink is still drying.
It's drying. What's interesting though was as I followed the modules, I began to call people. So when I wrote the book, I called Kathy Coover, who I'm also in network marketing, and she's the owner of our company. And I said, "Can I send you my book?" And so she said, "Absolutely." And I wanted her to do the foreword. So she got the book, and that's her quote that she sent me back in email.
The owner of the network marketing company that you are just a distributor in wrote the foreword for and a testimonial on the cover of your book.
Absolutely.
I bet you there's probably 100,000 distributors in your network marketing company.
It's the first time she's done it forward for
Yeah.
one of our books.
Wow.
What was interesting was as she read the book, she called me and she said, "Are we getting a course with this? Are we getting a webinar? What are you doing to follow up?" And it's interesting because I have a course and I have a webinar, and that was the purpose of the book.
So the purpose, remember I told you the purpose isn't to sell the book, the purpose is for the book to sell you. And so when they sell you, they want something from you. They want a webinar, they want a course, they want coaching, they want something. And on her own, Kathy Coover said, "Can I have a course from you?" Like she didn't even have to sell it. The book sold it so powerfully that the request just came in. It's awesome.
Testimonial on the back is by Nikki Kehoe, which is the president of the Direct Selling Women's Alliance. So I asked Nikki for the testimonial, sent her out the transcript. She read it, and she said, "Absolutely, I'll give you a testimonial." 2 days later, I get a call from her office. They go, "Are you free to do a call?" And I said, "Absolutely." They go, what would you like the call to be on? Your book. And she said, "We will be able to distribute it." So that was number 3. The author of the last publisher of my book, I went in and I saw them, and they said, "So what have you been up to?" And I said, "Well, I just actually finished writing my second book." And they said, "We have been waiting for your book. When will we be able to carry it?" So, and because of your steps, I actually even know how to negotiate it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
So you saw the book for the first time Friday,
Yeah.
and you've only got 4 miracles.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations. Do we have a? Okay, here we go. The Leading with Character Award, Susan Hart, 2013. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh,
How are you?
big responsibility following all that.
I know.
I've known Dr. Grant for over 20 years.
20 years, yes.
And he is one of the leaders in the world in the area of understanding truthfully how the body works, not from the pharmaceutical point of view, but from the natural health point of view.
Thank you.
And you've written other books before?
Only 9. This is my 10th.
All right. So was this book any different from if you've already written 9, how did a 10th book using my system be any different?
That was the easiest. I just filled the blanks. The other 9, I had to contribute a chapter with other doctors, which was a drag. This was the easiest.
So when you did a chapter, it was a drag. When you did the whole book,
The whole
it
book
was
was
easy.
easy, yes. Yes.
All right. And tell me what miracle has happened since you've written this book?
4 miracles.
4?
Yes. I had difficulty getting lunch and learn before, and as soon as I finished writing this book, I got a lunch and learn with Bank of Montreal last month. I get invited to go to England through Marina, Pat, and Mamak. I get somebody to invite me to Australia, and it's just like a miracle coming. And yesterday, I got an email. They'd like me to be a speaker in one of the TV show on Voice America. Yeah, so, thank you. Thank you.
So you've had,
Yeah, 4 miracles.
you've had Canadian miracles, British miracles, and American miracles.
Yes, and you're the miracle.
So my UK workshop is next weekend.
I cannot make it next weekend.
Okay, but you'll come to another one.
Yes.
Will you continue to extend
Absolutely.
the invitation?
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank
now,
you.
we didn't know you were coming.
That's fine.
So
Yes.
we'll give you
This
the
is for your
award.
birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, wonderful. It's autographed.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
It's really difficult to follow.
I know.
Producers, TV, medicals.
I know.
Wow, you got a stool I can step on? I feel like a
You know you won't need it. You won't need it because you got a
book.
You got it. So tell me the name of your book. And you're a done-for-me author, so it was
Correct.
done for you. So the name of your book is?
Supercharge Your Business Today, The 6 Secrets of the Growth Technique. And my name is Carl Tepman, and I'm the guy who's offering you the unique growth experience.
So how long has the book been out?
The book came out in June. We did the book in about a little bit over 30 days.
Right.
The most magnificent part of the book is I've been trying to write this book for about 4 years, from people telling me when I've done speaking engagements, you have a book? I'm like, no, working on it. The problem is, I knew what the issue was, and you hear this all the time. Focus on your strengths, outsource your weaknesses. I've been looking for a publisher for over 4 years that could write a book for me.
So who published this for you?
Well, I published it, but you did all the work for me.
I published it. You didn't publish it, I published it. Okay.
But you said,
Let's
okay.
get the facts
Okay.
right here. Okay, let's try it again. Who published it for you?
You did.
Thank you. Got to beat them up a bit sometimes. Okay, so what miracles have happened since you've come out with this?
So the miracle that has come out with this is, if you look at a lot of companies, they create their own strategies and they try to be unique, as a unique identifier. The miracle behind this process is that we have a growth technique that we've proven for over 25 years. What the difference is now when we go and talk to potential clients, instead of saying, here's our technique, I actually say, you know what, we have the growth technique, and I'm an expert on it. I wrote the book on it. Now, when you say that as an opener, as a line opener in front of clients, instead of, hi, I'm just trying to differentiate myself with proposals and who we are, we skip that whole process because companies want the best, the top of the cream of the crop, and the book has branded me to be the top.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. The Supercharge Your Business Guru Award, Carl Tepman 2013. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. You're a blessing to me and to the world. You're able to get your message out now when you couldn't before or couldn't as well. And now you're going to be able to, now you are already able to do it brilliantly well. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Wow. What a birthday present. Absolutely. Oh, look at that guy. All right, so put up your hand if you're interested in having your own book. Okay. You've seen the social proof. Medical doctors, realtors, business gurus, anyone you could imagine. And it helped every single one of them, and it will help you. Whatever your business is, even if you're not sure what your business is, you can just promote yourself. So I'm going to make a brief presentation. Oh, grandson. I'm going to make a brief presentation, take great notes, make a decision to step forward and get into action. Okay, here we go. I'm going to reveal a deep secret. You already know it, but I'm going to be revealing it here and making it very, very clear. The average Canadian income is $53,000. That sucks. Why bother working for a whole year if you're only going to bring in $53,000? And by the way, by the end of the year, you've spent it. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that reminder. So let's start now and make sure that you earn a great deal more money. Would you like to be in the top 1%? Yes, well, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that, because here is how much you have to earn to be in the top 1%. In Canada, $250,000, United States, $350,000. Why do Americans have to earn $100,000 more than Canadians to be in the top 1%? The answer is Americans are better at branding than Canadians. We're so British. We don't want to talk about ourselves. And Americans are quite happy to talk about themselves. And if you're a little embarrassed about talking about people who live in invisibility, do you want to live in invisibility? No. Well, 97% of the people in this room are. Of course, you're known by your own clients, but are you known by others?
Gregory Winkler?
Gregory, there he is. So, where is life easiest, the bottom or the top? Top. Let's try that again, because if I was delivering this speech the way you're responding, we'd all be asleep by now. So, where is life the easiest, the top or the bottom? Top. Where do you want to be? Top. Good. Well, you typically have to go there one step at a time. But I have created the only two-step. The only two-step. And interestingly, it starts from the rung that you happen to be on in visibility. And it grabs you, not just visibility, but visibility and credibility in one fell swoop. And if you have visibility and credibility, you automatically have wealth. And so it takes you from the bottom of the ladder right to the top of the ladder in one step. It's the cleverest thing I have ever come up with. It's the little known way to get everything you want. And the answer that you've already heard, but I'm going to make a big announcement of it right now, is to have your own book. To have your own book. And I first came up with this idea a year and a half ago when I was coaching a client in Australia, Jorgen and Dr. Hannah Christensen, and they said, we give this course to financial planners, but maybe because we're getting old, maybe because people think we've lost our mojo, we're just not getting any gigs any longer. So I said, well, because you're a nobody. Why don't you like write a book or something? And they said, oh, how do you write a book? I said, hold on, let me think. And so I gave them a couple ideas, and they were quite excited. Hang up the phone, and I called my next coaching client, which happened to be Dexter Montgomery. And they said, we're high income, but we're the same high income every year for the last several decades. It doesn't grow, even though our wisdom grows. And I said, well, why don't you write a book or something? Because I just got that idea half an hour ago. And they said, well, how do you do that? And I had some wisdom because I've been creating it over the last half hour. So I was able to give it to them in less than half an hour and come up with some new ideas. And honestly, Dexter, you were the second person on the planet to hear me say that. Yeah, congratulations. Third client, they said, I want to get rich. I said, why don't you write a book or something? And then I was able to zip through what I learned from, or what I made up with Dexter and with Jorgi, and was able to go further. And then after I did the 20th time, I said, I could be a better coach if I wrote this down and sent it to my coaching clients and then just helped them with the questions they had instead of repeating the whole thing all the time. So I started typing it up, came to 150 pages long of wisdom that I already had in my head. I said, no one's going to read 150 pages. I turned it into a video, and I turned it into this program, and it's helped people around the world. It's helped people around the world. Book means your voice will be heard. You are trying to attract clients or patients, and they are getting bombarded by 5,000 marketing messages every day. As you're driving along the street, cars are coming towards you. And every car has a little hood ornament. Oh, that's an Audi. Oh, that's a Mercedes. Every car, every truck that goes by has a big painting on the side. Drink Coke, use ketchup. Like, they all have messages. Every website you go to, every television show that you watch has commercials. You're listening to the radio, there's ads. There's 5,000 messages that your clients are getting bombarded with every day, and you're saying, me too, sign up for me. I'll be your realtor, I'll be your electrician. Come on, I'll bake bread for you. Come on, let me teach you how to be healthy. You don't have a prayer, because 5,000 people with a lot more money than you are blasting their message. Go to Hunger Games 2. It's coming out in November. Oh, a movie. Oh, a Mercedes car. Maybe I should buy a Mercedes car. Oh, then there's an ad for something else, and then you see a TV commercial, and you're going, and you're trying to get your message out to those people. That's why life is tough. That's why the average income is $53,000. That's why, because you can't get your message out. Dr. John Gray, dear friend of mine, I go on vacation with him twice a year. I said, John, you're one of the only people I know that has ever earned over $20 million a year. John, you're one of the only people I know that wherever I go in the world, I can go to Manila, I can go to Singapore, I can go to Kuala Lumpur, I can go to Johannesburg, and I can say, do you know John Gray? And the entire room puts their hand up. You're more famous than anyone I know. Tell me the one mistake you made in your life that if you could relive your life, you'd change it. And here's what he said: I'd rather have a book than a PhD. I said, what? You're a doctor, John Gray. That's distinguished. What do you mean? And he said, Raymond, try this. Call up a radio station and say, I have a PhD. Do you want to interview me? I said, you're right. They would say, no. Why would I want to interview you just because you have a PhD? Baloney. But call them up and say, I wrote the book on Toronto real estate. You did? Well, of course, we have a radio show. Please, come on. You wrote the book on Toronto real estate? Well, of course we want you. But he's the same as 36 other realtors. He just wrote that book. Do you understand? Any Toronto realtor, the book on downsizing. Where do you live? In Barrie? Yeah. So Monica and Robert wanted to specialize, not just be a realtor, but to focus on downsizing, because baby boomers oh my God, yes. Thank you. I have a bonus, a special bonus that I forgot about. Thank you for reminding me. I want you to put your hand up if you're already in the 10-10-10 program. Okay, whether you finished your book or not, put up your hand if you're already in the 10-10-10 program. We have a special bonus for you right now. And that is, we're holding an accelerated book writing workshop at no charge to you. If you've already registered for 10-10-10 program, but your book's not out yet, then my staff and all of the authors who've completed their book will be coaching you to get your book done fast. Is that a good deal? It's not, yeah, go ahead, you can applaud. It's not part of the program, it's just an extra bonus. So whether your book is completed or not, if you're in the 10-10-10 program, stand up, go to the back. We have a special room all organized for you, where if you haven't finished your book yet, you'll be trained by my staff and by all the clients of mine who've already completed their book. You can ask any question you want and zoom to the finish line to get your book published. Thank you, Lori. Okay, so go right to the back, please. Yeah, he's calling you. Yes, I'm sorry that it took me so long to figure that out. Wow, half the room left. Half the room's already in my program. Isn't that great? Now, you'll notice that I think I told you yesterday, I don't like the rule under promise and over deliver. I like the rule over promise and then wildly over deliver. And so you can see that I'm hosting a special accelerated book writing workshop for those people who are in the process of writing the book. I don't mean they have a problem, they're just in the process. And wherever they are in the process, I want to speed them to get their book done. Some people need a little extra help, or they need a question answered. Okay, so if you're sitting down in here, that means you are not in the 10-10-10 program. Is that correct? Is that correct? You have a question? If you want the names of the books, go to every one of the bookstore tables and go get them. Yes, we plan to do that. We plan to have all the books on a website, so instead of going to Amazon, if they happen to come to our website, you can buy them through there as well. Yes, thank you. Okay, so let's continue. Having a book means you can aim higher. And you saw them aiming higher. Do you remember? Remember, she stepped forward. Did you see the glow on her face? That's a question, I'll try it again. Did you see the glow on her face? Yes. Okay, well, that's going to be on your face. I want to get you out of the bottom half. I want to get you into the top 1%. And here's the huge insight. You can become an author. You will create your wealth, but you have to do it the right way. Do you remember one of them, I can't remember which one, said, I've written 4 other books, but I wrote the other books to sell the books, and it didn't work. Now I learned how to write a book to sell me, and it's working. That's the difference. So I'm going to tell you my life before a book. This is my own actual life. I was born right here in Toronto. I was born broke. Maybe some of you have had that same experience. And then I got a job I didn't particularly like. So I took it out on a substance called food and got very fat, 50 pounds overweight. Because I didn't like my job, I got fired. I told my wife what happened. She dumped me. And the bad news is I was $100,000 in debt. $100,000 in debt. I was a complete life loser. And a coach took me under his wing and said, I know what you should do. And that was the turning point of my life. Because everyone who struggled didn't have a book, and everyone who was rich did have a book. That was the only difference I could find. You see, it's not the case that whites make money and blacks don't. It's not the case that men make money and women don't. It's not the case that good-looking people make money and people who aren't good-looking don't make money. It's not the case that educated people make money and people with university degrees don't make money. It's not the case that high IQ people make money and low IQ people don't make money. It's not the case that tradesmen make money but academics don't. I couldn't find any distinction that was correct except book. Book is the only distinction I could find. Every single successful person I knew, Sir Richard Branson, Donald Trump, every single person I knew had a book, and all of my klutzy friends didn't have a book. It was the only thing. That was the only distinction. If you think there's some other distinction, you tell me what it is then, because I don't know one. I'm really smart. I can't find one. So I wrote my first book, which now you know is my second book. But the first book I wrote for the wrong reason. I wanted to sell my book. And so I sold, 20, 30,000 copies, made 10,000 each, made $1 million or something. But big deal, then the book stopped selling. But this book was to sell me. And I didn't get very good advice, and so I didn't write a very good book. You can make $1 million in Canadian real estate. Well, excuse me, Canada is adjacent to the largest economy in the world, the United States, and I forgot about it. So I wrote a book about Canadian real estate so that I could reduce my income by 90%. And then I looked at other books, and there was a quote on the cover, so I wrote a quote. Security and happiness can be yours if you apply my principles for real estate success. Who did I quote? That's a question. I'll try it again. Who did I quote? Yes, I quoted myself. Do you know why? I didn't know anybody. Then when the book came out, the first 5 people who looked at it said, why do you have a broken picket fence across the bottom? I said, those are houses. I drew them myself. And they say, my 4-year-old can draw houses better than that. You can see my tie wasn't even done up correctly. This was a lousy cover. But I was very proud of it because as lousy as the cover was, it was better than the book. I couldn't afford an editor, so the thing was filled with spelling mistakes. It was bad. It was a bad book. You know the rule, don't judge a book by its cover? That's a question. I'll try it again. Do you know the rule, don't judge a book by its cover? Yes. Well, I was hoping they would. Because if they opened the book and saw the book, it would be worse than the cover, as bad as the cover was. Nevertheless, Now, did I try to write a good book or a bad book? A good book. I just failed because I had nobody helping me. I had somebody helping me, but he didn't do a good job. So even though I tried to write a good book and succeeded only in writing a bad book, let me tell you what happened because of that book. From age 39 to age 40, I got out of debt, out of $100,000 of debt. It was the first time I was out of debt in my entire adult life. And then in one more year, from age 40 to 41, I was a millionaire, and I never looked back. And that's what a book did for me. That's what a bad book did for me. Imagine, that's why the people on stage are getting miracles, 4 miracles, in a day or two after they get their physical book in their hand, because I teach them how to write a good book. That's a wow. That's a wow. So come into my life now. I've told you the horror of what my life was like when I was 39. I'm now a day or two away from 69. So let me tell you what my life is like now. I've been asked to join the Transformational Leadership Council. That's the website, transformationalleadershipcouncil.com. You can see my name is the very first one on the list, though that's mostly for alphabetical reasons. I'm a founding member. This was formed by Jack Canfield. It's an elite organization of 120 of the top transformational leaders in the entire world, and I was one of the 30 founding members. I'm also honored to say that I serve on the board of directors. The board of directors has constituted 3 committees, and I am the chairman of 2 of the 3 committees. Why am I in that group? Because they know me because I've written books. It's as simple as that. And now all my friends are the most famous people in the world because I met them through Transformational Leadership Council. Jack Canfield, Dr. John Gray, everybody who is in The Secret. I got filmed for the movie The Secret. Why? Because Rhonda Burns wanted to interview the top transformational leaders in the world, and they were all meeting in the same place. So she flew from Australia to our meeting to film them, and of course she filmed me. I could have been in the movie. I was filmed for the movie The Secret, but I'm on the cutting room floor, but it came pretty close. Here's a picture of me with Jack Canfield, with Lisa Nichols, the star of The Secret. I think you can see me on the bottom left of that picture. I'm not exactly sure. Les Brown, one of the greatest speakers of all time. Marcy Shimoff, one of the top 5 all-time female nonfiction authors of all time. Of all time. It's a huge distinction. Lou Dobbs, the star of CNN, Mark Victor Hansen, Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer of Iron Maiden, Stedman Graham. The thing to learn from this photograph is, at least for Oprah, size matters. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Bret Michaels, the rock star. Dave Hester, the TV star of Storage Wars. What is his famous word? Yep. Rudy Giuliani, the world's mayor. Sir Richard Branson, that was me with him backstage. Robert Kiyosaki, Brian Tracy, Brian Mulroney, Prime Minister of Canada. Steve Wozniak, the only living co-founder of Apple Computers. Dr. John Gray, Donald Trump, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why? Why do all these people know me? Because they all have books, and they have no time for people who haven't written a book. They've got no time. When I speak to somebody who's famous, I make sure I work into my conversation that I wrote a book. Otherwise, I'm just some person who's bugging them. So when I speak to Sir Richard Branson, to Arnold Schwarzenegger, when it's my 3rd time to speak, I'll say, yeah, I had that same problem writing my 2nd book, yeah. Oh, you wrote a book? Suddenly they're interested. Suddenly they're interested. That's how I differentiate myself. That's why they're friends of mine. That's why. It's not what you know, and it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And these super wealthy, super famous people know me. I can, on my cell phone, I can call these world famous people. I can leave a text for them. And I can say, can you write a foreword for my book? Can you do a favor for a friend of mine? Can you put a testimonial on the cover of one of my clients' books? And they'll say, yeah, sure, I'll help you. I can get done in a text message which you couldn't do in 20 years. Because I'm distinguished, because I'm branded, because I've written a book. Are you getting the message? Yes. So here's the big insight. I want you to yell out the bottom right word when we get to it. If you're important, you've written a book. So if you've written a book, you must be important. In whose eyes? Who will say that you're important? In their eyes. In their eyes. And that means you're branded. Boasting is Raymond talking about Raymond. Branding is you talking about Raymond. So when other people are talking about you, are you being boastful or are you being branded? Branded, absolutely. So here's another big insight. You might think, well, Raymond, you know, I understand the book sells me, but everyone says you're supposed to sell your book. So I want to have a #1 New York Times best-selling book. No, you don't. Yeah, I do. No, you don't. You don't. And I'll tell you why. Because it's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen to you. Never going to happen to you. Just forget it. But Raymond, you did. Yeah, I'm sorry to say I did. Why are you sorry? Because here's the sad reality. When a movie comes out, even a great movie, it's on the big screen for 2 or 3 weekends, and then it's gone. Is that correct? Avatar lasted 2 or 3 months. Gone. Hunger Games lasted a month, and it was a great movie. So books are the same. #1 New York Times for a few weeks, gone. So I'm going to tell you about my book. This is a bestseller. It's my hardcover bestseller, Double Your Income Doing What You Love. It's got a great title. It's hardcover. It's filled with great information. Sells all over the world. It's been out for about 10 years. I get a royalty check every 6 months. I want to show it to you. Published by John Wiley, one of the top 5 New York publishers in the entire world. This is the reconciliation that I got behind the check that I received for the most recent 6-month period. The most recent 6-month period. There it is. You can see it's John Wiley and Sons, one of the top publishers in the world. There you can see it's me, Aaron, Raymond Aaron, Double Your Income, meaning double your income doing what you love. There it is, 6 month, oh, you can't see it. I've covered it up, but you can see there, period ended February 28, 2013. Do you see that? So can you see that? Yeah, so it's the most recent 6-month period. And I'm going to show you how much they gave me. $85. $85. That's a bestseller. Ooh, I can't wait. We're not talking $85 a month. We're talking $85 in 6 months and declining fast. I haven't had a check over $100 in 8 years. Don't even pray for bestseller status. I got bestseller status. I got a honkin' check the first 6 months. Never seen that again. First check was so big I could have bought 3 houses, free and clear. So I started drooling when my second check was due. It arrived. I called all my staff together. I zipped open I showed it to them first. There was no reaction. It's because it's so big, they're drooling. And I looked at it and said, oh, shit. It was under $100. It was under $100 because it's gone. It's gone. It's old news. Don't even hope for a bestseller. But when you write a book that sells you, it sells you forever. So you need to have a goal that you don't want to sell a single copy of your book. Wow, now there's a bestseller. Because the bestseller is you. You're the bestseller. You're the one that gets clients. You're the one that gets radio and television. That goes on forever. When you say, I wrote the book on downsizing, nobody says, when? How old is it? But if I went to a bookstore in Toronto and say, I wrote Double Your Income Doing What You Love, do you want to put it in your bookstore again? They'd say, when did you publish it? And I'd say, oh, okay, let me see. I published it hold on, let me see. How come I can't find it? No, it's not. I can't find it. Anyways, it was about 10 years ago. If they find out the book was published 10 years ago, are they going to put it in their bookstore, yes or no? No. But that book still sells me. So you can have $85 if you want, or you can do it my way. Huge lesson. Conventional wisdom is you sell your book. The unconventional wisdom is the book sells you. I completely turn everything upside down. You have a book inside of you, it's time to get it out. So let me show you how much a book can help you. You can go from employee to much higher income employee. I'll give you an example. Phyllis. She is in the marketing department of a major corporation downtown Toronto, and she started to write a book on marketing, not finished yet, told some friends, put it on Facebook, and she got a phone call one day from somebody who said, it was 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, said, I'm a recruiter. I've been hired by a major company in the same business, actually your employer's major competitor, and as you know, our head office is right across the street from you. I've heard you're writing a book on marketing. Well, yes, I am. Good. We need somebody senior in our marketing department. I've been authorized to find somebody because you're writing a book. I want you. It's 10 a.m. I'll meet you at noon for lunch. Tell me your salary, add $20,000 to it, and start tomorrow morning. No interview. No interview. Well, can you come back for a third interview? Can you come back for a fourth interview? Can you fill out this form? Can you do this profile? You've been through that crap. They didn't ask her anything. They just begged her to join and gave her a $20,000 raise. Put up your hand if you'd like that to happen to you if you're an employee. Absolutely. But maybe you dislike your job. Then you can go from employee to your own very successful business. If you're a tradesman, then you can go to a very much higher income tradesman, and I'll give you a suggestion. I had a client who was a plumber. Is that correct? Yes, a client who was a plumber. And it's his own business, so he'd wait for the phone to ring. Someone said, I have a leak. And he'd drive over there and he'd fix the leak and he'd go home. And he could do 2 of those a day, and plumbers were charging at that time $60 an hour. And I said, write a book. I guarantee to double your income. I just guarantee it. It's so darn easy for me. So he says, what'll I write a book on? Plumbing? Fixing leaks? The best wrench to use? What'll I write it on? He had no idea. I said, here's the title for your book. 11 ways plumbers rip off homeowners. He said, I know a lot more than 11. And then the subtitle was, don't hire any tradesman until you read this book. He instantly got radio and television across Toronto. Instantly. Because people are all afraid of getting ripped off by electricians, by plumbers, by roofers. They don't know anything. They're just a homeowner. They don't know anything. And so he became so well known that he got inundated with phone calls because they trusted him and wanted him to fix their leaks because he had authority. So he calls me up and says, Raymond, I can't handle all this business. I can do 2, maybe 3 gigs in a day. I'm getting 10 or 20 in a day. I can't handle it all. What'll I do? I said, do you know any other plumbers in Toronto? He said, of course. I said, hire them. Tell them that the fee is $60 an hour. It's traditionally $60 an hour if you go get your own client. But if I get a client for you, I want a 25% finder's fee. Well, that's $15. Do you think a plumber who doesn't have any business that morning would be willing to get a client at $45 an hour instead of sitting at home doing nothing? Do you think that plumbers would do that? Yes. Of course. And is that a fair trade, or are we taking advantage of them? It's fair trade because they didn't get a client on their own, so they got to pay us for getting a client for them. Now, listen carefully. How much did my client used to earn when he was working? The answer is $60 an hour. I'll try it again. How much did my client used to earn when he was working? $60 an hour. And today, when he is working, he still earns $60 an hour. Before, how much did he earn when he wasn't working? Zero. Now how much does he earn when he doesn't work? $15 an hour times 8 other plumbers. That's $120 an hour. He makes $60 an hour when he works and $120 an hour when he doesn't work. But he also works. I promised to double his income. Unfortunately, I tripled it. He gets 60, and on the side, there's another 120 coming in. So he calls me and says, Raymond, maybe I should just like have those people work. I said, let me make it even better. I want you to charge $99. No, $99, you can't do it. There's an industry standard. Everyone knows it's 60. You can look in the yellow pages and see it's 60. I said, oh, just clam up and write this down. Hi, thank you for calling. How did you find out about me? Oh, I saw you on radio, or my sister said she heard you on radio. Okay. And you have a leak? Yes. And then this is what I told him, word for word. I have trained plumbers who use my system, who charge the standard $60 an hour. If you want me, it's only $99. He said half of them are choosing him. I gave him a 50% raise while he works, and he still gets $120 an hour when he's not working. Is that exciting? That's what happens to a guy who was a nail in the bin. He was just a plumber. Now he's the plumber. You can go from salesman to much higher income salesman. I'll give you another example. Are you liking these examples? Okay. So I have a client who's a car salesman, and he signs up for my program, and he calls me the next day and says, I don't know what to do. If I write a book about the latest model car, then next year it'll be out of date because it'll be a new model car. I said, you don't write about the car, you write about yourself. You're not selling the car, you're selling yourself. The book sells you. He said, I don't get it. What do you mean the book sells me? I don't get it. I said, okay, look, I'll just tell you the title of your book. How to Cherish Your Client. He says, the title of my book is How to Cherish Your Client? Yeah. He said, how does that work? I said, let me tell you what you do now. You walk up to somebody, a couple that's in your showroom, and you say, can I help you? And they say, no, thank you, we're just looking. And what they mean is, go away, creep. Isn't that what you mean? Go away, you're bugging me. So I say, well, if you know that's what they're really meaning, why are you bugging them? He said, I don't know what else to do. I said, fine, here's what you do from now on. Now you think if you're the couple, see the impact. Hello, please look in our showroom. No one will bother you. You may stay as long as you want. You can ask us questions if you wish, but we won't come up and disturb you at all. I'm only coming up because I want to give you a gift. I've written the book on customer relations. In fact, my book is called How to Cherish a Customer. And I would like to give you a copy. I don't want your name or address or anything, just like to give you a copy. Just give me your first name, Mary and Tom. Here you go. Thank you. Enjoy your stay. He walks away. Now, they've been to 10 showrooms. It's Friday night. They have to make a decision. Put up your hand if you think that that salesman, because he gave them a book, and he gave them a book on how to treat a customer well, put up your hand if that's going to bear very strongly in their decision of which car to buy. He used to be just an indistinguishable nail in the bin. If they've been to 10 dealerships, his chance of getting that sale is 1 out of 10. But when he gives them a book, maybe it's 1 out of 5. Maybe it's 1 out of 2. Maybe it's the only one they would consider. If it's the only one they would consider, instead of being 1 out of 10, it's 1 out of 1. His income went up 10 times. Instead of earning $53,000 a year, he'd earn $500,000 a year. That's what's happening when you write a book. And not a book to sell, a book that sells you. Is that exciting? Giving you lots and lots of examples. You can go from business to highly profitable business. I do this all the time. When you have a book, you will be known more. And when you're known more, that's higher visibility. If you're known more in a positive way, that's credibility. When you have visibility and credibility, you can't stop the wealth coming in. Now, there's 4 problems you need to solve in writing a book, so get this down. 4 problems you need to solve. The first problem is the forward scandal. And let me explain what that is. You must have a forward in your book. But very distinguished and famous people charge typically $50,000 to write a forward. $50,000. Will Smith charges $1 million. Donald Trump doesn't want to do it, so he charges $1 million. But for most celebrities, you can get them at $50,000. You just call their publicist, they'll tell you. Now, the reason it's a scam is they don't know you. You're just kind of borrowing their name for $50,000. So it makes you look good. Imagine you said, I wrote a book on real estate, and Donald Trump wrote the forward. Is that a wow? It's a wow. It works, but it's a scam because he doesn't know you and you don't know him. So you need to have somebody famous writing the forward for your book, but you can't pay them because it's a scam. It's not honest. The next problem is the cover problem. If you think the difficulty is writing the book, I want you to know the difficulty is the cover. Because graphic artists are right brain, and you try to talk to them as if they're human, and my gosh, it's like they're speaking a different language. It's so frustrating. It can take you 6 months to get a cover done. It can cost you tens of thousands of dollars and be horribly frustrating. So don't worry about writing the book. Think about getting the cover done. Number 3 is procrastination. If you want to write a book and you want to get the book done, you don't want to say, I've had a book inside me for 40 years. That's creepy. Nobody wants to know that you've had a book inside you for 40 years. You look like a dodo if that's your situation. And so I've solved that problem because I've written 8 books, and I don't want to say I'm writing a book. I actually want the book to come out. And so I've created a title called Personal Book Architect. And I know a gal who's such a completion freak that when I call her and say, I have decided to write another book, she says the same thing all the time. Raymond, I will do everything to get that book out no matter what. Whatever you tell me you're going to do, I will make sure you get it done. Put up your hand if you could get a book done if you had the support of a personal book architect. Okay, good. And then the 4th thing is you're marketing your book way too late. Way, way too late. You need to have a book website immediately. You need to mention your book immediately. Remember I gave you the example of Marina Nanny, who the very next morning after deciding to write a book, not only hadn't she written the book, she hadn't even started writing the book. She didn't even have a title for her book yet. She just said, I'm writing a book on the hotel alternative, and she started getting money. You need to start saying you're writing a book. You need to put it on Facebook. You need to absolutely have a book website immediately because the money starts coming in as soon as you say you're writing a book. So let's switch topics now and talk about what wealthy people and what wealthy companies have. Every wealthy person and every wealthy company is branded. You are not branded. You might say, my name's my brand. Oh, give me a break. Everybody has a name that doesn't make you special. So, you need to be branded, and there are 4 popular ways to do it. Let me explain what they are. Number 4 is branding by association. Now, here are some of the pictures that I showed you. And I want you to put up your hand and tell me the honest truth. How did you feel about me? What were your thoughts when you saw all these pictures, and many more actually, of me with uber wealthy people? What was your thought?
Top of the world because you are associating with awesome celebrities who made an impact all over the world.
I'm having trouble with my Canadian accent, but I think he said something nice. Okay, good. He likes me. Yes. Wow. Someone else, please. Yes. Wow. You want the same. Good. Yes. Impressive. Connected. So if 6 people said positive things and 1 person said something which I hope was positive, then I'm getting 7 out of 7. And any time that 7 people out of 7, which hopefully means 100 people out of 100 and 1,000 people out of 1,000, are impressed with you and say, wow, you're branded. But unfortunately, you may not have uber famous friends. Don't worry, you've only blown one way out of 4. So let's look at technique number 3, branding by testimonial. You've heard of Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the world-famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Put up your hand if you've heard of that book. But the book that I like best is Cash Flow Quadrant. It's his second book. Put up your hand if you've heard of Cash Flow Quadrant. Yeah. And here's what Robert Kiyosaki says about me. I thank Raymond Aaron and his tapes on goal setting for helping me achieve more with less stress. Is that a little statement or a big statement? From a little guy or a big guy? When a big guy says something big about me, that's gigantic. How do we know he said that? Because he wrote it on page 187 of his second book. And there it is. It's underlined. It's actually underlined on every copy of that book. Do you know why? Because every time I go into a bookstore, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I got no shame. Every time I go into a bookstore, I ask for the Kiyosaki section. When no one's looking, man, 187, here we go. I'm underlining it on every book, man. Doesn't cost me anything. But you may not have dazzling testimonials by super famous people. That's okay. You've only blown half of them. Let's try technique number 2. Technique number 2 is branding by achievement. Well, I am in the who's who for creating more millionaires around the world than any other Canadian. I'm internationally syndicated as a radio talk show host on business. I have done 2 pilots for Rogers TV, and they're deciding right now if I get my own 1-hour show. I was one of the 40 teachers in the world filmed for the blockbuster hit movie, The Secret. But you may not have great achievements. That's okay. You just have to hope to God that the last one is for you. And here it is, technique number 1, branding by wow. Anytime somebody says wow about you, you're branded. You raced to the North Pole at minus 40 degrees dodging polar bears? Wow. You're in the who's who? Wow. You were filmed for The Secret? Wow. You wrote 8 books? Wow. You wrote a chicken soup book? Wow. You wrote a For Dummies book? Wow. You're the only one that's done a For Dummies and a chicken soup? Wow. You've been on stage for 30 years? Wow. You've given over 5,000 speeches? Wow. You've been to 5 continents out of 7 professionally giving speeches in the last year? Wow. Every time someone says wow about me, my brand rises. If they don't say wow about you, you've got no brand. Simple as that. And the easiest way to get the easiest way to get a wow is to write a book. And everyone can do it. You heard 10 people on stage all say, well, the easiest thing for me about writing a book using Raymond's program is I just filled in the dots. I just followed the program. I just did what he said. I wrote other books before, but they were tough. In fact, I just had to write a chapter in other books and it was tough. I wrote a whole book using Raymond's system and it was easy. Everyone can do it. You can easily do it. Took me 4 years to write Chicken Soup for the Parent Soul. Took me 4 years to write Chicken Soup for the Canadian Soul. Took me 1 year to write Double Your Income, Doing What You Love. I got a bit smarter. I wrote a book. I got rich. You want rich? Write a book. But not from the royalties. We've already covered that. If you could write a book and get rich in 1 to 4 years, you'd probably not be interested. Because at least in North America, if your Big Mac comes in 11 seconds instead of 9 seconds, you look for somebody to sue. In North America, we don't have an attention span of 1 to 4 years. The Asian population does. In China, at least in Hong Kong, they take out multi-generation mortgages. A mortgage with not a 25 or 30-year term, a mortgage with a 90-year term that imprisons their children and their grandchildren. They think in long term. North America, we don't. So that's not any good for you. If I could get you wealth in 6 months, it's getting a little better. That's not good enough for you. And so I'm going to do something that's going to shock the daylights out of you. It is the biggest breakthrough I have ever come up with. I can teach you how to write a book in 10 hours. In 10 hours. Some of you said, wow, count me in. Others said, baloney, I don't believe it can be done that fast. So I have a special program for low self-esteem clients. You are allowed to take 20 hours or more. The lower your self-esteem, the more hours you can choose to take. But if you don't have low self-esteem, you're allowed to use the 10-hour program. So I'm not going to debate with you on whether it's possible or not. I've just showed you 10 people who did it, and there's another 30 outside who've done it. And so some of them took 12 hours. So what? I mean, so what? The truth is, I couldn't stand up and say that's possible with 30 of my clients at booths at the back unless it were true. Do you understand that? So if you don't believe it, it means that you're in the wrong universe. Because in this universe, I actually produce that result. Would you like to write a book in only 10 hours? Okay, you have a book inside of you. It's way past time to get it out. It's time for change. It's time to cure invisibility. It's time to climb the ladder of wealth. It's time for transformational change. It's time to write a book, especially if you've never thought of that before. But, now here's your lame-ass excuses. I mean, I don't have the time. Excuse me. The average North American watches 11 hours of television a week. You can write 52 books this year and still watch your favorite show. Don't tell me you don't have enough time. But English isn't my first language. You think it's Marina Nanny's first language? Obviously not. She's Romanian, still can't speak English well. And she's just written her 5th book. Her first book was released on this stage exactly 1 year ago, September 14th. That book took her a little over 10 hours. She's now written her 5th book, and the 5th book, she said, took her 5 hours to do. 5 hours using my same process. But I've never written anything before. Well, this is a big insight I have for you. Every single person who's ever sat down to write their first book has never written a book before. I know. Isn't that amazing? But I don't know what to write about. No worry, I personally will work with you. Do you remember the plumber who didn't know what to write about? Do you remember the car salesman who didn't know what to write about? I gave them dazzling titles and a dazzling topic, and their income has skyrocketed. But I'm just an employee. Then get ready for raises, promotions, and job offers. I already gave you the example of Phyllis. But shouldn't I wait till I launch my business? Let's say you haven't launched your business yet, and you don't know that much about it. Yes, you should write a book right now, even if you don't know that much. Why? Several reasons. One is you know more than your potential clients. And the way I know that is because if someone knows more than you, they're not your potential client. And so all the people who know less than you, they are your potential client. That's really, really important. And if you think, well, in 3 years I'll know more, great, write a sequel. Simple as that. But I don't know much. I already mentioned you know more than your readers. But I don't like promoting myself. Good, the book will do it for you. Reggie? When does it start? It starts as soon as you want it to start. You registered today, and if you want to start tonight, you want to start Monday, that's great. If you don't want to start until the new year, fine. But don't use start date as your excuse to not get into it. You register now, you own the program, you start whenever you need to start. So many creeps say to me, oh my God, I can't sign up for your program because I'm going on vacation next week. So what? You sign up now, you wait till you come back, and you start the program. I mean, if that's the obstacle you can't overcome, give me a break. But my friends will laugh at me. The truth is they'll be dazzled, and you know it. they will be dazzled. You saw the faces of the people on stage. And every one of them, if I had said to them, did you think you have a book in you? Half of them would say, yeah, I thought so, but it's never come out. And the other half would say, no, I never even thought about it. How much does it cost? Well, it costs as much as a small car, but it's worth it. If you can't afford it, you better join. If you've been working for 5, 10, 20, 30 years and you don't have a few $1,000s to rub together, you better do something different. This is the most powerful something different you're ever going to get offered. So, if I gave you an entire day to work on your business, not in your business, what would you do? Write a book, absolutely. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. You laugh at it, but the problem is you're screwing it up. You're trying your best to be like everybody else. You're trying your best to be like everybody else. Notice you're dressing the same way that everyone in the room is dressing. Notice that you go to work during rush hour so you can be like everybody else. Then you make the same dumb mistake 8 hours later, you drive home in rush hour so you can be frustrated again. You do the same thing that everybody else does. You have a barbecue in the backyard so you can barbecue steaks in the summertime. You do exactly the same as everybody else, and you wonder why you don't stand out. You spend your life blending in and wonder why you don't stand out. I'm not putting you down, just telling you what is. And I want you to stand out. I want you to be special in the business point of view. I want you to be yourself. There's never been anybody like you. Stop pretending that you're the same as everybody else and be the brave soul that you really are. And here's one of my legacies. There's many books on marketing. This is not a book, this is an audio program. It's 6 audios that discuss every single aspect of marketing yourself with your book. There's lots and lots of marketing programs. This is the only one that is specific to authors. It teaches you not how to sell your book, that's creepy. It teaches you how to get the book to sell you. There's nothing else that's ever been done in that regard. I offer it at $3,000. I'm not selling it here. I'm just telling you that I created it and I'm proud of it. But now I want you to create your legacy. 10 chapters in your own words. Get this down. 10 chapters in your own words in 10 hours of your own time, and you'll be holding your book in your hand in 10 weeks. In 10 weeks. This is middle of September. On November 30th, you'll be holding your book in your hand. Holding your book in your hand. The record, by the way, is a lad in London, England. I'll be seeing him next weekend when I'm in London. From the date he signed up to the date he was holding his book in his hand, shipped to his home, holding it in his hand, was 21 days. 21 days from buying the program to holding the physical book in his hand. Don't you tell me it can't be done. 10, 10, 10. That's why it's called 10, 10, 10. So let me tell you how books have helped me. I create a great deal of money and I give it to my charity. I have a charity called Eyes of Children that funds eye surgeries for kids who are blind in war-torn countries of the world. Thank you. Ophthalmologists, typically from UK, Canada, and the United States, fly to these godforsaken war-torn countries. They go out into the field and they do surgeries on kids who can see again. And I don't pay for their professional fees. I don't pay for their airfare. The local village pays for the room and board. All I pay for is the physical tools they need. The scalpel, the anesthetic liquid, the sterilization equipment, and I can save a child's eyesight for between $25 and $300. And I've saved a lot of kids' eyesights. There's a lot of kids who can see because of my charity, and I'm very proud of that. I make money here, I give it there. So I make money, I give it back, and that's a huge important thing that I do in my life. I also have lots of free time and lots of residual income. Because of my books, I take a 1-week vacation every single month. I've been to, yeah, go ahead, you're going to applaud. I've got about 6 slides like this. I won't bore you by showing you all 6 of them. You're probably drooling already. But on top of that, I do something extra special, and that is I take a 1-month vacation every other year. I had a wonderful 1-month vacation in Australia. I actually spent about 4 months touring all through Europe. I did a double crossing of the Sahara Desert by Jeep and camel. I trekked around the Annapurna Mountains in Nepal for a month. I had a 1-month honeymoon in New Zealand. I was in the Ecuadorian rainforest for a month. I did 1 month of whitewater canoeing. I spent a month in England. I spent a month lying on this beach in Fiji for an entire month. And my most exotic, most favorite 1-month vacation of all time was Antarctica. What a glorious continent that is. And there I took the best picture I ever took in my life. Do you want to see it? Yeah, good, because I brought it. There I am with a king penguin. I actually brought my tuxedo to Antarctica. And behind my head is not gravel. Behind my head is 150,000 king penguins. I'm the one on the left. That ain't Photoshop. That's me. So is this the life that you want? No debt, high income, high wealth, gorgeous new home. I move in next week. High residual income, lots of time off to do what I want. Put up your hand if that's the kind of life you want to have. Okay, is that the life I had at age 39? No, I had not a single one of those. There are 3 levels to my program. You choose the level that is best to you. Let me explain the 3 levels. But what other people do is they explain the benefits of each level. I don't. I explain the guarantees at each level because I want you to know that you get exactly what I say you're going to get. So at the platinum level, which is the first level, it answers the question, I don't know what to write about. And so guarantee number 1 is, I personally work with you. I personally, Raymond, I personally work with you to get a perfect topic and a perfect title, and I'm really, really good at it. Me personally. The second guarantee has to do with the length of the book. And if you write a book that's too long, no one will want to read it. If you write a book that's too short, people will think it's just a marketing blurb. It has to be exactly the right length in order for people to actually get the book. And guarantee number 2 is, I will teach you the perfect book length in the program. Guarantee number 3 has to do with the dreaded cover problem. Remember I told you the cover can take you thousands of dollars and many, many months to do? Do you remember I told you that? That's a question, I'll try it again. Remember I told you that the problem is the cover, that it costs thousands of dollars and takes many months to get done and lots of frustration? Yes. Well, guarantee number 3 is I will get you a professional cover in under 30 minutes for free. Yeah. One person said, wow. A few people eventually applauded. So let's agree on the same response mechanism so that it actually harmonizes. Let's agree on wow. And I didn't think I'd have to train you, but let's try that. Say wow like you mean it. Wow. Yeah, now do it the next time without my asking. Okay, guarantee number 4 has to do with when do I start making money? Make sure you're getting these down. These are the guarantees in the platinum level. When do I start making money? Guarantee number 4 is you'll have more authority before you finish. In fact, you'll have more authority before you even start. You'll be talking about your book tomorrow, and you'll get and we can help you get a specialized book website up immediately so that when you talk about your book, they can actually Google it and find your book website so they can say, wow. Absolutely. And guarantee number 5 has to do with the forward scam. When people hear this, they typically say, man, I'm in, I want it. The forward scam is you have to have a big person writing the forward, but you can't pay for it. Remember I said that? Guarantee number 5, the platinum level of the program is, I will write the forward for your book. Absolutely. That's the 5 guarantees of the platinum level. But you might be afraid that you couldn't live up to it all because you might feel that your burdens are too heavy. You, in fact, can go further with a book. You can turn the tables on adversity. You can do things that you could never believe that you could do, and you'll be able to do it with a book. The platinum level is huge, but the Platinum Plus level is huger. At the Platinum Plus level, you get all the guarantees of Platinum, plus you get 3 more amazing guarantees of Platinum Plus. And the first one has to do with procrastination. You do not want to procrastinate. You don't want to procrastinate. You have always procrastinated. You hate that you procrastinate, but you certainly don't want to procrastinate writing a book. And so guarantee number 6, because you get all the guarantees of Platinum, the additional guarantee of Platinum Plus is guarantee number 6. You can have my personal book architect. My personal book architect personally helping you, the one I personally use. Guarantee number 7 has to do with what if my book isn't published? Don't worry about that, because guarantee number 7 is I personally publish your book to make sure that it gets out. Is that a wow? And guarantee number 8, you will love it, has to do with how will I market my book? How will I market my book? And the answer is I will personally host your book launch. And in fact, I will host as many book launches as you wish. You'll notice there were 10 brand new authors with their very first book launch. There were 20 others who were having their second or third or fourth book launch. The sales they make, they keep it all. I'm the only publisher that keeps not 1 penny of the book sales. It's all yours. I advertise. I bring people here for your book launches. You can have as many book launches as you wish. Marina Nanny is on her 9th book launch so far. I pay for it. You keep all the revenue. Is that a good deal? I make sure your book gets published. I make sure your book gets publicized. And that's the Platinum Plus program. The hugest one is Done For Me. That's how hugest the hugest is. Now, the Done For Me is not for everybody, but it is for some people. The Done For Me means we write your book for you, as if you wrote it. Your words, your style, whether it's informal or comedic or slang or casual or formal or academic, whatever your style is, even if you don't know what your style is, because we do it in your words, it's as if you wrote it. Now, here's what we do. We interview you. We design the book with and for you. I personally do the title and subtitle for you and with you. We design the cover for you and with you. We get your ISBN number. That's the unique book number that's on the back of the book. We publish your book for you, and we ship 100 copies to your door, all included in the Extreme Done For Me. And it's your own book. The entire book is yours. That's what we do. Here's what you do. Answer the freaking phone. That's it. You answer the phone. Hello? Hi, this is your writer. I'd like to write your book for you. Can I ask you some questions? Yeah, I'm turning on the tape recorder. Okay. What do you think about this? And what's your best thing? And how do you do that? And why are you special? And how are you different? And how do you do this? And how do you do that? And what do you like? And what do you don't like? And you just yak and yak and yak. Do you have any more to say? Oh, I have this and I have that to say. And you yak and yak and yak. And then we massage that into a book. We chapterize it. We sub-chapterize it. We do the entire thing. We send you the first draft. You go through, I like this, I don't like that, change this word. You just go through making whatever changes, and we correct it all, and your book's done. That's Extreme Done For Me. Celebs pay $250,000 to have their book written. The book, Steve Jobs, Isaacson was paid $2 million to write the book Steve Jobs. But typically, celebs pay $250,000. The problem is, when a ghostwriter gets $250,000 to write a book, he may not get another gig for 4 years, which means he's only making $60,000 a year. And so we contact the people who write books for the biggest celebrities in the world and say, you know what? We will keep you busy every month, every week, every month, writing books, writing books, writing books. And when they divide how much they'd like to charge by how much they actually get over like a 10-year period, because they only get 1 or 2 gigs, we get them down really low, and then we get them down even lower because we say you never have to worry. We're keep going to feeding you books. You'll be the only book writer who actually writes books. The others are just hoping. And so we get a giant discount, and we pass it on to you. A gigantic volume discount, and we pass it on to you because we know you probably don't want to spend $250,000. So at the platinum level, it's transactional. You get your book done. The Platinum Plus is transformational, which is the giant income change that you want. And the Done For Me, it's automatic. Your book just gets done. I'm going to tell you the truth. 85% of people who register for the program register at the Platinum Plus level. The Platinum is for people who can't afford Platinum Plus. The Extreme Done For Me is people who just want the whole thing done for them, but you may not be able to afford that. And so 85% of the people choose Platinum Plus. I'm just informing you of that. And another way to look at it, if you're still confused, is the Platinum Plus is rated by my clients as worth 10 times more than Platinum, and the Done For Me is rated at 100 times the value of Platinum. Of course, the cost isn't that much more, but that's the value that my clients say. And here is the very hugest, that there's no risk whatsoever. There's no risk whatsoever, because not only have I showed you on the screen what all of the guarantees are, and not only have I spoken them out loud, but when you register for the program, you will actually get this physical contract called guarantee to make sure that you have a list of every single guarantee that you're entitled to. And there it is, no risk to you whatsoever. That's why people rush to the back and say, well, I might as well sign up, there's no risk whatsoever. I might as well go to the back, there's no risk whatsoever. On your own, you may not always get what you want. But when you follow my program, it'll come out exactly the way that you want it. I told you about Charlotte Smart, 17-year-old, and now her jars of anti-acne cream are selling around the world. Patrick McMurray owns an oyster bar in Toronto. It's right downtown. It's called Starfish. You can go there. Starfish is the most successful oyster bar in Canada. That's stupid. You can't be the most successful oyster bar in Toronto because an oyster is an oyster. They don't cook oysters. Oysters are raw. All you do is open it and hand it out. That means every oyster bar has exactly the same oysters, and they get it from the same oyster fisheries. They have the same oysters. They can't cook it for you. They put it on ice and hand it out. Why is one oyster bar more popular than the others? It can't be. They're all exactly the same, or they should be. Why is his different? He wrote the book on oysters. And it's got a dumb title. Consider the oyster. Just consider it. Don't eat it. Just consider it. That's a stupid title. It's stupid! As a result of his having a stupidly titled book, he has the most successful oyster bar in Canada. Go there if you want. It's right downtown Toronto. Ask for Patrick McMurray. Say, did you really write a book on oysters? You don't even have to ask. Why? It's all over the front window. It's on everybody's table. They usually say, oh, I'll take one of those books as well. And everyone says, you should go to Starfish Restaurant. He wrote the book on oysters. You can't say his oysters are better. It's the same oysters as everybody else's. Do you understand? It doesn't make any sense. It just works. Did you catch that? That's a question. Did you catch that? Yes. Okay. Michelle Seiler Tucker. She's a business broker. She wrote the book, Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth. Her book of business has skyrocketed because everybody wants to sell their business for more than it's worth. Brilliant title. Jill Voss, you'll love this. Jill Voss is beautiful, single, and she likes being single. But society doesn't want her to be single. Come on, go on a date, have a kid. Come on, get a house, have a guy. She says, no thanks, I'm not interested. And lots of her girlfriends are single and are happy to be single. I mean, some women who are single want to be married. Some women who are single want to be single. But society doesn't want single women to stay single, and so they get hucked all the time. Come on, get married, come on. And so she wanted to open up a course for happily single women to stay happily single. And she did. Only problem is, nobody registered for it. So I said, Jill, you got to write a book. She said, but my business is unsuccessful. No one's ever signed up. When you have a book, they'll sign up. She says, okay, I trust you. I gave her maybe the best title I've ever given anyone. Do you want to see it? Jill Without Jack. Now, is that good? Jill Without Jack, and she's changed her name. Not legally, but in use, functionally. She came up to me recently and she said, "Hi, you don't know my name." I said, "Of course I know your name. I helped you write your book. You're Joe Voss. I boast about you all over the world." "No, you don't know my name. Ask me my name." "Okay, what's your name?" She says, "Joe without Jack." I said, "Get out of here. That's what you say?" She says, "Darn right, that's what I say. When people say, 'Hi, what's your name?' I say, 'Joe without Jack.' And I say, 'What? That's your name?' Well, it's actually the name that I use because I have a program for happily single, and she's right into it, and people are signing up. 'Hi, what's your name?' 'Joe without Jack.' 'What?' And now her workshops are filling up. Women are flying in from all over the world because of the book. You like that story? True story. Al Bargan is a fitness instructor in Vancouver, Canada. He has the problem that every fitness instructor has. They're all the same. They give you an aerobic program so you lose weight. So even if you eat some crap food, you'll still look good. That's what a fitness instructor does. And they all do that. I said, just because they all do it doesn't mean I can't make you a lot of money. Here's the book title I gave him: Cheeseburger Abs. Eat whatever you want and look absolutely fabulous. He gets all kinds of radio and television in Vancouver. He's the wealthiest fitness instructor in British Columbia now because he's branded. His very first coach, T. Harv Eker. T. Harv Eker is a Canadian who lived in Vancouver. 20 years ago, he flew to Toronto and asked me to be his coach. Look at him today. One of the wealthiest men in the world. His book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, is a #1 bestseller. And he doesn't earn $50,000 a year like he did then. He earns $50,000 every 2 or 3 days. He earns many, many millions of dollars a year. And one of the reasons is he wrote a book. That's the difference. But if you're still sitting there wondering, here's the best news of all. It is time for change. It is time to cure invisibility. It is time to rise the ladder of wealth. It is time to create wows in other people around you. It is time for transformational change in your life. It is time to have 100% ironclad guarantee so that you know for sure you're going to get every single thing I ask for. Platinum Plus is worth 10 times more than platinum. Done for me is worth 100 times more than platinum. So you just choose the one that suits your needs the best. And now I want to give you a giant discount. I told you the tuition was a small car, but when I'm on other people's stages, I have to pay to be in the other stages. Here I don't have to pay, it's my own event. Is it okay if I pass on the discount to you? Yes. Okay, so write this down, please. Platinum is $5,000. Platinum is $5,000. You'll get that back easily. Platinum Plus is $10,000. And it's shocking, but done for me is $25,000 instead of $250,000. $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. Now let me give you another bonus. Monthly branding call. Every single month, you get an appointment. We call each other. I teach you a little bit about branding, and I answer your questions. And you can stay on the line as long as you want. I do not get off until every single person's question's answered. You get a call with me every single month. Not one of my coaches, me personally. Put up your hand if that's exciting to you. You can ask me any general question or any specific question about your book. Let me give you yet another discount. You know that that's the tuition, but I'm happy, I'm enjoying myself, I really love being here, and so I'm going to give you an additional discount. And I want you to write down the discounted tuition exactly the way I say it to you. Don't be cute. Write it down exactly the way I say it, because you'll need to have it in this strange format. Will you promise to do that? Okay, so write down the discounted tuition. Platinum is 2 times $787. Don't multiply it out. You'll get it wrong. And I need it in this format. Platinum Plus is only 4 times $787. And done for me is only 4 times 2 $787. So platinum is 2 times $787. Platinum Plus is 4 times $787, which is what almost everyone chooses. And done for me is 4 times 2 $787. And that's the lowest I've ever offered the program at. But let me give you yet another bonus. And that is, it's only $787 today. It's only $787 today. And let me explain that to you. At the platinum level, it's only $787 today, plus one more payment of $787 in a month to make up your 2 payments. At Platinum Plus, this is unbelievable, it's still only $787 today, plus 3 more equal monthly installments, making up the 4, but it's only $787 today. And Done For Me is only 2 $787 plus 3 more equal installments, and you can see why Platinum Plus is 85% of all the purchases. But if you pay in full, which most people do, if you pay in full, let me give you another discount. And that is, at the Platinum Plus level, I give you a 10% discount, and that's actually a mistake. It should be 10%, my mistake. At the Done For Me level, it's also a 10% discount. So you get a 10% discount at Platinum Plus or Done For Me, and you get another discount for paying in full, and that is my $3,000 program to teach you how to sell yourself with your book at no extra charge. And by the way, thank you. That $3,000 is more than the entire cost of the Platinum Plus program. It's as if you get Platinum Plus for free, which is another reason why 85% of people choose it. So you get a 10% discount off Platinum Plus or Done For Me, and you also get my marketing program at no charge. So you need to escape the sea of sameness. You can't go back to make a new start, but you can start today and make a brand new end. You are unique and special pretending that you're ordinary. You're unique and special hiding in the sea of sameness. You're in your comfort zone, but there's no magic. There's no miracles that happen in your comfort zone. You can get into this program for as little as $787. It is now an opportunity for you either to pee or get rich. Some of you will make the wrong decision. I hope that you make the right decision. Today, right now, at the back of the room, as little as $787, you'll be a published author in as little as 10 hours of your own time, and as little as 10 weeks, you'll be holding your book. Thank you. Come to the back and get into this amazing program.